Hello folks, Ellie Little here. This is an update on that uranium market, and I would have to tell you, don't give up yet, right? This market still is probably going to come back, and I'm going to tell you why as we go through this market. Remember, I talked about this market breaking down way back in February. What was it? February, looks like the 13th, which would have been right in here. And why was that? Well, it was because of this big breakdown bar here. That was your swing point high. You got over it on this bar. That came back down, broke it, and I said, hey, this is going into a range. You have to be aware of that. Need to take advantage of that. And it was an opportunity, you know, the next couple days right in there to actually loosen up some and prepare. If you didn't, you got shelled. And that's why I said at the time that it's a range trade. You need to start thinking about it as a range trade. Well, fast forward, what are we? August 15th today. That was 6 months ago. And we're still just trying to find our footing. Now, it held a range, and I've got the Sprott physical up. And I'm using the Sprott physical because, you know, it's the best tell right now. I mean, you could use the SRUFF, but it's not nearly as you know, widely traded. Doesn't have as much liquidity in it. But you can see here, I mean, here's 4 bars. You can see that the buying support just keeps coming in each week, and you can see it over here on the dailies, right? Now, if it breaks down from here and continues down, and we make a lower range, you know, then I'm probably going to really start to wonder, you know, do I continue to be as bullish as I am on this market? You can see this range is in here. Go back up here, you had that range, and prior to that you had the range that was up there. Folks, this market just keeps trying to hold, and then it breaks down. It does seem like there's a good footing underneath it at this price level. You can see a couple things here if I go to the weekly and just look at it with you. This bar here, you can see that's the volume bar. You got some decent volume coming down towards it. Didn't quite get to it. You can see that support here in the green. You know, it could trade to the top of that bar, I would think. I would think you're going to find good support there too. 22.45. That's probably about as far as I'd like to see this thing go. And I'd like to see it just dip down and come right back if it's going to. Before I go any farther, though, let me indicate to you, you know, I love comments. I would like you to tell me things you want to see. I bring this market up because this is a market I'm most interested in, this in crypto. But tell me what you're interested in, and I'll jot it out. I've been doing that for folks, and if you like what you see, of course, subscribe, hit the like button, share it, and of course, comments always help. So let's go back to the video here. Here's the monthly. This is why I'm still bullish. Right, you had a swing point high back here and another one back here, and you broke over one there, broke over the other one there. You're coming into that bar. This is the breakout bar. You're coming in the top of that bar. So far, you're doing, and if I just draw this across, so far you're coming into it with less volume. And I didn't do the calculations. We're about halfway through this month. We're doing 6.6 or 6.4, so that's what, 12, 13 almost. This had 21. And so you can see the volumes just aren't there on the way back. And that's what kind of keeps me bullish. Now, you know, honestly, it could come all the way back to here, which is 20. I don't want to see that, but I mean, that's possible. And if it is, I told you before, actually in the last video, that's going to be a sweet buy if it ever gets there. I don't think it's going to, but you know, you never know what these markets are going to do for sure. So far, this market has bled people a lot more than you expect. I haven't done the calculation here, but I imagine we're pressing 30% down on this move. We're at 23, and we had a high at 33, so that's 10 on 33. Yeah, it's almost 30%. So you can see that that's a tough market, and has been a tough market. But don't forget what I just said over here, right? You're coming into a bar, has volume, right? You don't have the volume. You left volume at the top, right? All those things are positive long term. Remember, long term. You can't get shaken out of these things is the problem, and that means that you got to trade around them usually, because if you're building and building and building a position as this thing goes up, then your average cost price is going up as you go, and sooner or later, you're going to be hitting your average cost price, and that's painful because then you're not sitting on the average cost you had when you built down here somewhere. And so that's the danger of these things. When they run like this, you can't just keep adding to them. And if you do, you got to add in smaller increments, and you've got to be able to peel those back off if you have to. So that's the situation. I just wanted to bring an update because I know there's a lot of interest out here. What would it take to tell me that the bottom's in? Well, number one, it doesn't break down again and hold. Number two, it certainly, you don't want to see it break into this bar. This is the September 11, 2023 bar with a high 22.45. If it does, you want to see it pop right back out. So that's two things to watch. But the main thing that tells you its turn is a bearish retest region that fails. This is a bearish retest region. Got over it, but couldn't hold it. Right? That was a bad tell. If you were watching it, I probably should have put something out back then, but I was busy with other stuff. But if you're watching it, you had a lot of volume, and then you sold right down. That's not a good thing. And now you're back down here, and you've got another range going on. So you want to see that price point penetrated, and I think it will be on the next move up. Now, how fast is that going to happen? When is it going to happen? I don't know. But if I look at this price point, the low is 25.07. The breakdown was right here. Yeah, the breakdown was on this bar. That's July 18th. So you've tested multiple times. Every time you test, you eat away a little bit of the supply that's there. Just haven't had a reason to press higher yet. So give me a close over this, that price point 26.26. Give me a close over that, and I'll tell you that the range bottom is in. And that's going to be true probably on this time frame as well, because that high is 26.27 back here. 26.27. This one's 26.26. Give me a close over those. I'll tell you it's got a bottom, and anything back towards that bottom, you need to load your truck up. That's where we're at in this market. Painful as it's been, I still think long term it's going to do well. It's just you got to stay with it, and you got to add on these retraces once we know there's a bottom. That's it. Have a great one. Stay safe. I'll see you next time.